Hello, I am
Hello.
Kristen Agin with Keller Williams Chadwick Group. I'm a team leader here for the three market centers in Pinellas County. And I'm really excited today to talk to Chase Walseth. Welcome, Chase.
Hi.
Hi. Okay, I'll try to come down here. Hi. I working on my mirror matching. It's not going to go very well, but that's okay. Chase, I'm really excited to have this conversation with you because I always find you a very intriguing person in our world, and I can't say that I know you that well, even though we've been in each other's world for a couple, maybe 3 years. So this is going to be fun to take a deep dive into your head.
I'm excited.
Should we be scared?
Nah.
Okay. All right. Very good. Well, let's start off with just tell us a little bit about your history in real estate. Tell us your backstory.
I had no intention of ever getting into real estate.
Why not?
I know, it's weird, right? So sort of as a joke, my mom was in education. She was a teacher, and my dad was a realtor. And I think they were half joking, but when I was like 11, 12 years old, they said, you could be anything you want to be except a teacher or a real estate agent. And I probably would have gone to school to be a teacher had she not said that. And I probably would have jumped into real estate after realizing that I wanted more opportunity as a teacher. So I sort of went to college, got a couple degrees.
I'm curious, what were those degrees in?
One was international business with an emphasis in developing countries, and the other one was Spanish.
Okay. Oh, muy bien.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So after that, I went to grad school for counseling and student affairs.
Mm-hmm.
Was going to finish up grad school, and then my life was on a whirlwind, and we moved to Florida from Fargo, North Dakota. So
Fargo, burr.
So I started helping my dad.
It gives me chills just hearing Fargo. I'm from Michigan, so it shouldn't, but Fargo just sounds colder than almost Alaska. So
it is. It's awful. I think we've won the worst weather city in America multiple times.
Yay.
Yeah.
What a great award.
I know, it's awesome.
All right. So you moved from Fargo how many years ago?
8.
8 years ago. All right.
Yep. So we moved down here. I was applying for grad school down here to continue on student affairs and counseling. But in the meantime, I needed something to do. So I got a retail job, and I also worked on some houses that we were flipping at the time. Full-time, part-time, whatever, kind of both. And then one of my good friends who moved down to Florida with me, his name was Kyle, started studying for his real estate exam to be on Troy's team, my dad's team. And I decided to steal his books and study at the same time, and got my real estate license right after he did. And I literally showed up at the office one day and I told my dad I'm joining his team. And his response was, "No, you're not." And I said, "Yes, I am. I have my real estate license." He's like, "What? When did this happen? What are you talking about?" And I'm like, so Kyle and I were really his second and third hires at that point. He had somebody working as an administrative assistant / buyer's agent. And so, we kind of hit the ground running.
Awesome. So you're really at the onset of the team here in Florida.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay, very good. Fun fact that I know about you is that you read a lot. You read a lot of books.
Read and listen.
Read and listen. Okay.
I count it as a reading, but yeah. So
sure.
I had a goal in 2017. I wanted to read 52 books, which was one a week. And I ended up reading 60. 2018, I set my goal at 60 again, and I ended up with 72. And then 2019 fell off, and I read, I think it was 38. Anyway, the average of those 3 years put together ended up being 52 books a year.
Wow.
So
one a week.
It worked out perfect.
Right. You must track that on your wall because you keep looking to.
I do. I have these little check marks on my wall, and yeah, I keep checking those. So.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
So I'm making notes. So you joined this team as an agent, a buyer's agent. What was your role at that time?
Um, when I joined, I was just a buyer's agent.
Can we say
The
you were a buyer's agent, not just a buyer's agent? You were a buyer's
well,
agent.
the reason I say just is because that developed as our team developed.
Uh-huh.
We had a specified listing agent, and then we had a couple of buyer's agents, Kyle and I, and then the admin slash buyer's agent that Troy had at the time decided to take on a listing agent type role and did not do well at all. Just not the right fit. So we were changing and switching and trying things out and experimenting because Troy had built a small team before at the balloon company, but there was no training at that balloon company in how to make a team, how to build a team.
Mm-hmm.
So he really started learning how to build a team when he joined Keller Williams or from other Keller Williams agents before he joined KW, really.
Right, right. And how many years ago was this that you walked into the office and said, Dad, I'm joining your team?
It was 6.5 years ago.
6.5 years ago.
Yep.
So tell us what your role is today, and then we'll dive more back into that later.
Today I run one of the two Walseth teams, just the Walseth team at Keller Williams Seminole.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the team leader and a producing agent on that team.
Okay, great. So let's talk about a little bit about your business, where you get your business, what your niche is, as you might say,
Sure.
currently.
Yeah. So most of my personal production, most of my business comes from my sphere at this point. And I know that's not what a lot of agents want to hear. They're like, well, if I don't have a sphere, where's it going to come from? And that's always what I said when I was growing into it as well. So the reason that I have a big sphere business is because, not to beat my own chest, but I've always thought of this as the long-term game.
Right.
Somebody's not ready to buy for 2 years, they go in my calendar a year out and I'm going to check with them. And then 6 months after that, and then 3 months after that, and keep cutting it in half until they tell me otherwise.
Right. Can we pause right there?
Yeah.
Because I think it's such a huge, it's a conversation we've been having a lot lately around the value of a lead and the value of a relationship. And everybody has one of these with a whole list of people in it.
Yep.
That is their sphere.
Mm-hmm.
And what, let's be conservative and say 6%. It's probably closer to 10% are going to have a real estate transaction this year or know somebody who is.
Yeah.
And the rest of them will most likely in the next 7-8 years have a real estate transaction.
Definitely.
And so if you value them all the same, like you're talking about, and say this isn't as important of a lead as this one is, if I follow up on it consistently over time,
Mm-hmm.
That's still going to produce a relationship and potential income for me. That's when you start to win, because you're valuing the leads the same, whether it's now or in the future.
And I think it's a little bit of having that long-term mindset as well, knowing that no, this person's not going to give me a referral when I call and ask for a referral right now, but they will remember this conversation.
Right.
And if I keep talking to them, they will always. Mind share was a concept that was totally foreign to me. But when you talk to somebody, whether they're your best friend or a complete stranger, I guarantee you they know a real estate agent. I guarantee it. There's 9,000 of us in the county.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, they issue a real estate license or their driver's license now.
Right.
That's what it feels like. So mind share is staying on top of mind, staying in the top 2 or 3 agents, and making sure that you are talking to every lead, every prospect, every client, every past client, every friend, every acquaintance more often than realtor number 2 and number 3. That you're
Right.
providing more value to that person than realtor number 2 or number 3, because I feel like everybody knows a couple of realtors.
Mm-hmm. Everybody does, probably 5 to 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what would you say? You said that your main source of leads is your sphere of influence.
Hmm.
We were talking earlier about how much you work with beach investments. So
Yep.
tell us a little bit about that.
So I taught a class 2 or 3 years ago with a very weird name, and it was called Find Your Jeff. So Jeff, in my world, was a up and coming vacation rental manager who was doing a lot of the work himself, building a business from the ground up. And he was one of me and my dad's really early on clients. And he was very, very, he wanted answers at the drop of a hat. He wanted to go see a property in 10 minutes. He wanted like very high sense of urgency, New Yorker, but an extremely hard worker. So he was instantly our number one client, our VIP type client. And as Jeff's business grew, so did quite a few referrals, because he was managing people who wanted to purchase vacation rental properties. He was personally buying vacation rental properties. Then once it grew even more, he had a lot of people that were selling those vacation rental properties. So through Jeff, I learned just an enormous amount from him. And when I taught the class Find Your Jeff, it wasn't find another vacation rental manager. It was find that VIP person that has some sort of business or relationship that relates to real estate, that is a connector, that knows all these people. It might be an insurance agent, or it might be somebody at a title company. It might be a property manager. It might be an attorney. But find somebody who is a connector. And Jeff and I don't. Jeff is not my client anymore. Everybody knows multiple real estate agents, but I still have a lot of business that originated from him that are now in my sphere. And then those people have given me clients, and those people have given me clients. And that is really what I attribute a huge portion of my sphere and where a lot of my business originally came from.
Right. Michael Reedy teaches a class on psychographics of actually building a farm of who you know and the connectors in your world. And that's exactly what you just described. And while we're talking about classes and learning how to do this, you teach another class that I can't go through this interview without mentioning, and that's I don't know exactly what you call it, but it's the knowledge of the beaches and the beach communities. And it taught me so much when I went through that class. And I've had agents tell me they had moved here from out of state, and they were an experienced agent, and they came up to me and said, I just learned like what would take me 3 years worth of data to collect in this one class about the beach communities. Tell us a little about that class and how that came to be.
So Trish Bannister, who's the top agent on my team, and I both teach this class. Trish also has a lot of beach business that she works. And the class originally came from a couple of agents who are no longer with KW, who were sort of teaching this knowledge of the beaches class. And we took some of that material, and we included a lot of our own material, including quite a bit more about vacation rentals and investment properties. And we were trying to share some of that information with pretty much anybody who wants to come to the class. It's a really fun class for us to teach, and it also holds us accountable for staying on top of everything going on the beaches.
Yeah,
you don't want to teach a beach class with material that's 4 years old, because we got a new development in Madeira Beach going on. We got a new townhome community in IRB right now. There's lots of hotel chains that are changing ownership. The average price of Gulfront land has gone up pretty drastically over the last 3-4 years. So it really holds us accountable to staying on top of things. And Trish has really helped in sort of taking the reins on that. And I feel like I'm a guest speaker on the class. So
well, what I love about it is that it sets you up to be the local market expert. You are
Yeah.
obviously staying as the local market
Well,
expert.
and I've used that before, even on a listing presentation. Like, well, what do you know about the beaches? Well, I actually teach a beach class. I travel around to different brokerages, teach other real estate agents about the beaches.
Right.
You're beating your chest a little bit, but it sounds that much more like you are a beach expert.
Absolutely, it does. And having that type of knowledge, what I took away from what Trish taught in that class is that it creates a true concierge kind of experience for both sellers and buyers, specifically
For
buyers,
sure.
and how she was talking about, because you know more than just this is a great home or this is a great beach or people like to travel here. You know what the best place to go to a restaurant is.
You're selling a lifestyle. You're not
Right.
selling just the house.
Right. And what the rental requirements are and all of that, and just the community makeup. It's so intricate for each community. It's a really powerful class. So,
and I think KW and upper leadership has always taught about, people work with you because you're the local market expert, not because have the most sales or because you are the biggest team, or those numbers aren't as important as being a local market expert.
Right. Knowing what the exact community around them is. So
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'd love to go into your team and how your team is made up. We've been talking a lot about, focusing. There's so many different roles in real estate. I talk to people coming into the industry all the time, or people at other brokerages, that they see the path of real estate agent and that's one path. And yet you and I know that there are so many different roles within the world of real estate that make up a great team, that make up different opportunities suited to different people's personality types and their desires and their roles and their lifestyle that they want to have. So talk to me a little bit about how many people are in your team, what the makeup of your team looks like, how you guys work together.
Okay. So we, on the Walseth team at Seminole, have 8 people on the team. Technically 9. We have somebody who's off-site, who's our transaction coordinator.
Okay.
And we have one lead admin, who is our everything person. She does listing coordination. She helps keep the team on track. She tracks our accountability numbers, how many calls you made, how many contacts you've had, number of appointments, and then number of contracts every single day.
May I ask her name?
Dawn.
Dawn
Blakesley. Yep.
She's a Spitfire.
Oh, yeah.
And she gave my dog water when I brought him after surgery. So I really like her. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
She's a huge animal lover.
Yes. Yeah, she was on the floor petting him and he was loving every minute of it. So,
Yep.
Okay, very good. So she is your everything, as you said, and she takes care of that large range and holds the team accountable to your numbers.
Yes. She also is a licensed real estate agent. So that's something that we wanted to give her the opportunity to be in production and be able to earn essentially an unlimited amount of additional income. And she's on the exact same split as every one of our team members. So it's really nice because she's really taken that on as a huge part of her job this year. I think right now she's working with 4 different clients who are like ready to go. And it's a lot to balance for her. But she also has us sitting next to her the entire time. She has Trish, who's our training agent right here, who she asks a million questions. And then she's got me right across the hall as well. So she's got a lot of support from the team members, which is fully expected to be on the Walseth team, that we all help each other out without even considering it an option.
Right.
But she's got a good pipeline now that's really really exciting to see that.
Wow, that's awesome. So what other roles do you have in your organization?
So we are pretty easy and straightforward. Other than Trish, who is a training agent, the training agent is for top producers on our team who are willing and able to help brand new agents with their first 3 to 5 transactions. similar to a productivity coach type of role.
We call them
But
business
it's
coaches now.
yeah, yeah,
Mentors, business coaches. Yes.
yep. But
Awesome.
something internal that we can use. So it's a little bit extra income for taking on the responsibility.
Mhm.
Other than that training agent role, everybody else is both a buyer's agent and a listing agent.
We call them team agents. They are a team
Yes.
agent.
Yep. So the reason that came about was when I was an agent on the team and not the team leader, I was really pushing for an expanded role for all the agents on the team.
Mhm.
As the team leader, it looks different now, looking at the balance sheet, looking at everything like that, because I pushed really, really hard for expanded agent benefits, expanded agent roles, way to earn a cap reimbursement, which we have on the team as well. But I'm really glad because it has allowed us to give more and more opportunities to the agents on our team.
Right. And if you're anything like your parents, that is a huge push for you. I know for the Walseth in general, giving back to the people that are in your world is a really important thing.
Of course.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome.
We don't want to be, we've never wanted to be a revolving door. We want to be able to show enough value to the people on our team that they want to stay, not that they feel obligated to stay.
Right. And that's one thing that I think is what you're known for, your hallmark, is that you do have loyalty on your team, and your team members, they are part of your company and proud to be part of your company, and they plan on staying with you.
And now we have a really, really solid core group of agents who are our baseline and really our entire culture on our team. And
Right.
you know, we're always looking for talented newer agents, but at the same time we have a great core of agents right now that really make up our whole culture and a lot of our business.
Right. So well, just so you know, we have a job fair, since you mentioned that you're always looking for talent. We have a job fair tomorrow night at 5 on Zoom.
Yep.
It's going to be a webinar style, so top agents, experienced agents can come and actually listen to the type of opportunities in more detail, even the compensation structures that are out there. We're going to cover those as well. And it's a webinar style, so they can come and watch and not have to expose themselves, that they're paying attention,
Yep.
that they're listening. And then rainmakers like yourself or team leaders like yourself are going to be with us as well, talking about what opportunities they have available and openings on the team. I know everybody, our top agents and teams are crazy busy right now, and they're looking for help from what I've heard. So
Yep.
All right, very good. So speaking of crazy busy, tell me what you're experiencing in this current COVID world, with your buyers and sellers. What are you seeing in the market, and how is your team responding?
I mean, we'll start with the listings. Anything that we're listing that is a decent property is just getting gobbled up. You know, you can't just throw something on the market and ask whatever you want for it, but we're also not turning down what we saw as an overpriced listing a year ago, because I mean, you and I talked briefly about it before this. We have a property that we weren't really sure how to price it, so we just priced it a little higher than we were comfortable. We have 11 offers on it.
Yeah.
It's bonkers. We had another property that we thought we overpriced by almost 10%, because it also didn't have perfect comps on it, and we had multiple offers with escalation clauses that were 30,000 over asking price.
Yep.
It is very, very competitive and very low inventory right now.
Right. And cash buyers are coming to the table.
Oh yeah, yeah. And there's a lot of cash buyers out there, especially in a little bit higher price point. So the challenge is right now getting your buyer a property, if you're working with buyers. It's not getting them the best deal on the property, it's getting them the property. And that's really what I've considered my job to be when I'm working with a buyer at this point.
Yeah, it changes our conversations with buyers, absolutely.
It
Because
does.
before it was, we're going to work our best to get your 5 must-haves, and now it's a different conversation. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. So sense of urgency is super, super important when you're talking with buyers, and even when you're talking with agents, because if you see a property come on the market on Saturday morning, you can't wait until Monday to show it to your buyer.
Mm-hmm.
And we coach and teach all of our agents that the best way to get a great property is be the first one in the door and the first one to make an offer.
Right.
And be very aggressive with it. We've offered a bonus to the seller if they sign in the first 2 hours. We've done a lot of crazy things to help push our buyers to make decisions really quickly and to be ready to make that decision.
That's a creative urgency action step right there. Very good. Yep. Okay. Anything else that you're doing right now that you think is helping your buyers and sellers close deals, get them done, get them closed, bring them to the closing table, and actually move forward?
Connections with other top agents in the area.
Okay.
I've been selling for 6 years. My dad's been selling for 8 years in this area. And then a lot of our agents have a lot of connections with other top producing agents in the area. So if we know we have a buyer looking for something very specific and they're very realistic, or they're very motivated, ready to go, we're spreading the word. We're flat out calling other agents and saying, hey, so-and-so, do you have anything like this? Well, actually, I do. Right. It may not be, it's not a pre-listing. It's just they have a client who's maybe going to be ready in a month or two. And that's how I put something together that I wrote an offer on today. Right. I just called some agents who were, and you can look at, even if you don't know who is doing a lot of business in what area, the MLS is a fully statistical genius of a tool that you can sort by who the listing agent was, who the selling agent was, and you can go back 5 years, 10 years, and see who's the local expert in that area, and call that person and say, I see that you sold 8 properties in the last 180 days in this neighborhood or in this condo complex. Do you have anything that's available in blank? So it's finding out about the properties before they hit the market. It's doing the grunt work and going above and beyond for your client to find those properties.
Right. Absolutely. Okay. Well, very good. I love that. So I want to go back to you as team leader for a minute. I told you I was going to poke fun at you for something, and I wasn't sure what. I heard in a coaching group recently that there might be a very interesting challenge that you have out to your team for them meeting their annual goals this year.
Yes.
Actually, for not meeting their annual goals this year.
That's right.
I thought it was very odd, and I don't know. I believe in pain and pleasure, and pain motivates you faster than pleasure does. So would you mind?
Absolutely.
Sharing what that was?
So I imagine you're talking about the Waffle House Challenge.
Ding, 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 ding.
So I was just messing around on Twitter one day, and I came across this guy who was live tweeting his experience in doing this Waffle House Challenge, and I'd never heard of it. And by the time I was done with it, I had tears running down my eyes because I was laughing so hard at this story. And he was just basically saying that, he walked in and thought this was going to be no problem at all. So here's what the Waffle House Challenge is. If you lose the bet challenge, you don't meet your goal, whatever, you have to participate in a Waffle House Challenge. And what that consists of is spending 24 straight hours in a Waffle House. And the only way to reduce your sentence is to eat one waffle. And by eating every waffle you eat reduces your sentence by 1 hour. So you can go there at 10 a.m. in the morning and eat 8 waffles, and you can get out 16 hours later. or you can just sit there for 24 hours and not eat anything. But a Waffle House is not the most pleasant place to spend 24 hours.
Yeah.
So,
And I know some of the people on your team, and it doesn't seem like a place that they always would hang out. Just
probably
my thought.
not.
No, I
So
don't know.
before presenting this challenge to my team, I basically walked around to all my top agents. I said, "So how committed to your goal are you?" And of course, I got some very, you know, strong, confident answers. And I said, "All right, I want to put you to the test." So we have this big board sitting up next to me, and everybody who committed to the Waffle House Challenge has a little WH underneath their name. And everybody knows what that means now. So some extra motivation to avoid pain at the end of the year. And
Hit your goal.
whoever doesn't hit their goal is going to all do it at the same time, and to maybe take some of the pressure off. And it's looking like there's going to be at least 2 people participating, but we got a lot of time left.
We got a lot of time left. There's always the miracle fourth quarter.
There is.
All right, very good, Chase. Well, I really appreciate the wisdom you imparted to us today. And is there anything else before we go that I should have asked you that I didn't ask you that you want to share with agents out there who are traversing this world we're in today?
I don't know. That's pretty vague, but I mean, just treat this business like you're going to be in business 10 years from now. That's the best piece of advice I can give you. Play the, as Simon Sinek would say, play the infinite game.
Yeah.
Because it's not just about the production you're going to do this year. It's about snowballing that production, and you'll be amazed what you can do in 5 years.
Right.
In
Absolutely.
this business.
Absolutely. Change your world in 5 years, that's for sure.
Yep.
It reminds me, Ben Kinney's been talking about how he doesn't believe in long-term goals. He believes in dreaming and what do I need to do now to work towards that. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Very good, Chase. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you for sharing your story with us and being open. This is how we learn from each other and grow. So, and if you ever need anything, give me a call.
Sounds good. Thank you, Kristen.
Thanks, Chase. Have a great day.